I just hit myself in the face.
Sorry.
That's not a good start.
Hello, and welcome to the third round of the Yale SuperSpiel. Now on the ice, on sheet A, we have SUNY 2 versus the University of Pennsylvania. On sheet B, we have MIT 1 and Harvard. On sheet C, we have Hamilton 1 and Yale 1. And I'm not here alone, and I'm actually joined by Chelsea Blink.
Hello. I think my microphone is on.
Well, that's very good. You can also...
Can I hear you? Ooh, are you setting it so I can hear you?
Pardon?
Yeah, I can hear you on a delay, so that's going to be really confusing. I'm excited about it.
But you can reduce the delay by turning the knob.
Why would the delay be built in as an option? Okay,
because
hang
you
on.
can mute yourself.
That doesn't make any sense. By turning this knob?
This one.
Why?
Anyway.
Oh, no, I want to hear you. I just want to hear you not after you talk. Anyway. Whatever. Everything's hard.
Okay, so let me just quickly start the stream.
I hope everyone's enjoying the commentary so far. It's going great. What's the stack of papers you've handed me?
So as you see, all games are going. On B, we have a red center guard and 2 rocks in the back house. And we should look for the pool A information. And somebody messed it up.
Oh, that's what those were. I messed it up. It was me. Who the hell is playing? Okay, Yale 1. Hamilton 1. Got it. Nailing it. Who else is playing? Do you have a list?
Pardon? No, sure.
Oh, okay. MIT 1 and Harvard. SUNY 2 and Penn.
Okay. Now looking on sheet C, this is the first rock by the second rock by their lead. Now trying to come around their guard and sit in the house. Looks good, the sweepers are on it right away. Greg getting the rock ready. Now Skip Christina Papini is calling for a draw behind the center guard that was placed by Hamilton.
I think Fabian's doing a great job. While I shuffle papers. Did it. All my papers have been shuffled to my satisfaction.
The rock has been
Look
delivered.
at these people
looks
curling.
Slightly wide. Sweepers are not on it.
They are on it in terms of fashion, though, for the
They
theme
really
of this
are.
Bonspiel.
If
I'm
anybody
sure.
is wondering, Greg Dellis, the person in the golden pants, is really embracing our theme, which is childhood nostalgia. So he's embracing the 90s and early 2000s.
I thought you said the theme was trouser nostalgia,
It
which
really
it
is
also
not.
kind of is, though. But I like we've got juxtaposed 2 alternative throwback outfits. We have one more in the, hammer pants style, and then we also get to see a more grunge look showcased, which I think nicely represents the diversity of experiences of the 90s. I recognize, too, that many of these players, their childhood occurred in the 2000s, and this led them to make some incorrect choices of playlist in the warm room here, which I've had to go and fix repeatedly.
Now already you can see that Alex Hull from MIT on sheet B has a relatively nice game setup. He has a couple of guards which you can't take out very easily set up, and 2 rocks in the house, but now Jack Schroeder from Harvard will find it relatively easy to call his second or vice, his vice to sit on one of the back reds. The rock looks, I don't know, looks slightly slow to me. The sweepers are on the rock. And it should be just by the guard. It's well by the guard.
I'm not wearing my glasses.
It's actually so heavy that Alex just gets it out. If you want to have a look over here, you can see it's just about biting the 12-foot. Alex now again calling for a draw behind his 2 guards.
I like to think of that as licking the house.
So currently we can't give you many updates because the internet in Nutmeg is slightly slower because of a full warm room with lots of college kids using the internet at the same time.
Probably to look up flossing tutorials, which was a thing that happened this morning.
Now, let's have a look on sheet 1, where we have UPenn playing SUNY Poly. UPenn with the yellow rocks, facing a difficult house. As SUNY Poly under Skip Jeremy is very well buried behind that yellow center guard. And Jeremy now is trying to, I think it looks like just peeling the yellow out of the back of the house, and Elizabeth Simonelli, who is his vice, is now going to try to pick this out.
You know, Elizabeth Simonelli is from Little Falls, New York.
I did not know this.
Everybody knows this. She's majoring in psychology and interactive media and game design.
Oh, it's very cool.
I suspect she's going to make a lot more money than I ever will, so I think that was a good call.
But she sadly just about nicked the guard and now opened up the game, so now Richard Whittaker can ask Abby Jabo to make a direct hit.
But that's fine. Your thing's fine too.
Oh,
we have a pronunciation guide. This was the point of all the paper shuffling that I did. So Abby Zabo from Atlanta, Georgia, majoring in mechanical engineering, which I think means building machines with your hands, I guess.
And the rock is again on the center guard.
Abby's interesting fact here is I did karaoke in Japan once. And Abby would like to say hello.
I'm pretty sure she's going to have some fun later at our karaoke.
Oh, that's a very good point. I hope she signed up. Well, she would like to say hi to her grandpa and to Alex.
Now, all 3 games are slowly approaching the sort of interesting end phase of the first end. Looking across, there are no center guards either on A or B, so it's wide open for rocks to be taken out, so we can expect some hitting.
Well, one of the people who might be doing some hitting on sheet B is MIT's lead, Rebecca Jones. She's from Manchester in the United Kingdom. She's majoring in chemistry, and she thinks her British accent is not noticeable. So I don't know if the room out there is mic'd and if our friends at home can hear people talking to each other.
Sadly not.
Well then, in that case, I think she's correct that her British accent will not be noticeable to the viewers at home.
Unfortunate. So on B, Jack from Harvard was trying to play a... Wait, is Harvard red or yellow? Actually, he might have gotten very
Crimson,
lucky.
I would hope.
No, that's what I thought, but he got very lucky. He tried to play a direct take, was slightly wide, and managed to get a lovely double takeout. So it was a very good result. But yes, it is irritating to see Harvard not being red or crimson.
I know, it's rude.
So
well,
now
oh, go ahead.
Alex has a relatively open draw, which he is going to go for now.
Alex, a local here from Norwich, Connecticut, majoring in chemistry. His interesting fact is that whistles go woo. So I don't know if that's a reference to something or if I've just activated a sleeper agent with the code phrase, but that's what he wrote down here. Thanks, Alex.
Now, if you can't see this properly on sheet B, there are maybe even 2 yellow biters. It's relatively hard to see, at least from the angle of the camera. They're both outcounted by the red.
I think you've got 1 licker and 1 sniffer.
I see. Well, maybe we have to go out and get the biter bar. Anyway, so now Jack is discussing with his vice on what to throw. So what would you throw in if you were Harvard here?
If I were Harvard, who we determined is yellow, I mean, I think I tried to put one behind there.
Well, yeah, that's
behind
what
the
it looks
yellow sniffer, and there's other guards there.
I would really like a yellow in the top 8. So this way you would count, and you would still obviously have to leave something, but the draw out on the side I think might be slightly more difficult.
Yeah, I realized I just pointed to where I would put it, which for what I'm supposed to be doing here is actually basically the opposite, and I failed utterly, so I'm very sorry. Let's see where he does put it in reality.
Okay, so no sweepers. It looks like he is actually going for the outside draw. So in order for this to be nice, it has to go very snug to the guard. And it's curling now. It's about 1.5 feet away from the guard.
I think they want it to curl more than it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that died.
And it is not biting, for sure.
No,
this one I think we can agree on.
Not even licking.
So now it is up to Alex to benefit from this setup where... Oh, this was hammer. We should also look on how many rocks are left. So anyway...
Helpful.
Well done, Alex. 2 for MIT on B, and this is now on C, the last rock from Yale by Christina Papini. And she's trying to throw a hit and roll on one of the red, trying to outcount 3. The rock is coming in, looks nice. The sweepers have to go hard to make sure it stays on track, but it's curling now. Come on, sweep, guys. Sweep hard. Get a piece. Oh, it was a draw. That is very nice. Sorry. Very nice. As you can see, the warm room is very excited about Christina's lovely draw. I thought it was a hit, but it was definitely a draw. So now Hamilton is faced with a challenge, trying to either outdraw this, which is going to be hard, but possible.
Well, I can't find any info about Christina, so I can tell you something I know about Christina, which is that her family brought some very good cannolis here to share.
Yes. I'm
guess
sure
that's not really
Christina would
about
like
her.
to give a shout out to her parents, who
I mean, I
are
don't know
now
if
on
we should
the
assume.
way up to Troy to watch RPI play Yale in football.
Wow. Yeah, I know she went to RPI for undergrad, so she's probably
Exactly.
got some split loyalties at this SuperSpiel.
I think not when it comes to curling.
Now,
I think her loyalties are truly with
Fabian,
us.
I don't know if you know where I went to undergrad. It's another school you might have heard of.
No.
It's in Boston. Technically it's not in Boston. It's near Boston.
Well,
So,
let's have a look.
Not Tufts.
Now, Christina's draw we're celebrating here in the warm room. Nobody managed to follow down Christina's rock, and that is Yale 1, Hamilton none.
How's our boy Greg doing?
They're doing great. This is Patrick coming back.
Christina here's another thing I know about Christina. These are brand new shoes. She has brand new curling shoes, and the first time she ever used them was here at this SuperSpiel today.
Oh, wow.
So I think especially considering that, I'm very impressed she's able to make a draw and find weight in brand new shoes.
And this is her first time on the ice for this weekend as well.
Fabian, what do you think of the color scheme of the Nutmeg Ice this year?
I absolutely loved it. I especially like the little Yale logo on sheet B.
I do appreciate the Yale logos on sheet B on both sides. I feel seen, as kids say, I think.
No, I think it's a very lovely sign of the loyalty and friendship between Nutmeg and Yale.
I'm
So
sorry,
now-
I'm not adept enough with these microphones to mute my coughs. Well, it's fine. We'll take it out in post. Yeah.
It's a live stream.
I know. That was the joke that I made.
Germans aren't very good at humor, are they?
I'm trying to come up with a counterexample for you, but I don't have one, so maybe you're right.
Oh well. Anyway, now Yale placing up a guard slightly off center line, and Hamilton now trying to draw
Trying
behind
to
it.
do
Looks
what?
slightly heavy. It might be at the
If they're
back
drawing
of the house.
behind, it's wide. It's not curling a lot here on sheet C.
We have just very recently scraped, so a lot of the lines are flattened out.
There you go. The more you know.
And with recently, I mean 20 minutes ago. So Christina with a very good call. I think a draw behind. Good idea. Looks slightly heavy to me.
I agree.
Coming in.
Coming in
And
a little
I'm
hot.
afraid that's slightly hot and through the house.
That one maybe was like a scout going ahead to kind of scope out the situation and tell the other rocks what it looked like before they go, to help them go the right place.
Maybe. Now, meanwhile, on sheet A, where we have UPenn playing SUNY Poly 2, we have I actually have to look myself, a sort of center guard and a red slightly visible in the house, which Elizabeth Simonelli is now asking her vice to take out. What's he called? Gabriel.
From Vernon, New York. Double majoring, it looks like. Unless this is one department and I don't know anything. No, it's two, because someone else is just one of them. Okay, he's double majoring in electrical and computer engineering.
Awesome.
An interesting fact about Gabriel that seems to be added in by someone else later that Fabian doesn't want me to say out loud. So you'll never know anything interesting about Gabriel. He would like to say hi to Aaron Bailey.
So does everybody else. in his team.
Everybody at SUNY wants to say hi to Aaron Bailey.
Now the hit leaves the red still slightly exposed, so Richard Whittaker is in return calling a hit again, which is coming in relatively straight, but hitting it off nose, running out, so that it's only one red rock in play.
Now, Richard Whittaker and I have a number of things in common. He is from the same state as me. He's from, admittedly, a worse part of the state, but he's from Charleston, Illinois, which we all know the best part of Illinois is Chicago. So he was close on that, but no cigar. He majors in materials science and engineering. I feel like there's a theme. Now, why do you think so many engineers get involved in curling, Fabian?
Well, it's a very good question. If you were to look at Colgate, for example, you would see most of people are economists, so I'm not even sure the statistics is quite right.
All right, well, it wasn't a statistic. It was, I guess, an anecdotal observation. So, thanks.
Sorry.
I feel supported. So an interesting fact about Richard that I do have in common with him is that he has a new profound love for face masks. Fabian, have you ever used a face mask?
I haven't, but I know that the team MIT2 is currently dishing out face masks, and I'm pretty sure Richard might want one, given that he has a new and profound love for them.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
And to be honest, MIT might be the reason why he has tried them.
Why he's tried? Yeah, that seems right. I know the MIT team. Actually, I don't know if you'll be able to see this at home, but many of them. Well, oh no, maybe it's. Are there two MIT teams?
Yes, this is
okay. So not the one that's on right now, but make sure you watch their next game for MIT too. Because they all have matching manicures now.
Yes, both men and women have pink nail polish.
That's right. Gender is a social construct. So make sure you look closely at everyone's fingernails on MIT and zoom in at home.
So what you saw recently, which is something that our current skip Patrick is always very eager to explain to all of us, is to reduce the number of upweight hits, because as you saw on C, we have thrown a number of hits, but they were relatively downweight, which means that a lot of our yellows still stick around the house and count. And now Christina can ask Gregory Dallas to draw in another yellow rock behind the yellow near the center line, and then potentially sitting 3. Whereas if you throw upway hits, you might just roll out and sit nothing.
Now, Gregory Dallas is from Manhasset, New York. He also would like to write, he would like us to refer to him by the nickname he's chosen in keeping with the theme of this Bonspiel, which is Not So Old Spice. Oh, like Old Spice.
Let's have a look.
Like
this looks more like a tap, to be honest. I think it was a bit narrow.
This is
so there's a tap possibility, but I think it was slightly too heavy for that, so it's
changing of the guard is what I should have said.
But you know, it is 1 for 1, not much of a loss. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, yeah, you didn't really. I would like you to know. Oh, Greg picked a major. Greg declared his major. Did you know that?
Declare. Yes, I did.
My son, Gregory. Good for him. He's double majoring in graphic design. That's a major in Yale? I don't think we had graphic design. That's very marketable. And psychology.
Now Hamilton trying to take out one of the 2 yellows in the house and hoping to roll behind the yellow guard. Their vice called...
I'm sorry, who are we talking about? I was reading Gregory's fun fact, which is that his ears were different sizes when he was born. So let's find out who's vicing for Hamilton.
So the hit looks very downweight, but it might have again not been hit, but actually intended as a draw. But even as a draw, it was light and just nicks the guard. So we have a center guard, and the shooter slightly protects the yellow. So Greg is very fast to call for a Another draw in.
Looks like Hamilton's vice is Ryan Wall
Or maybe even a guard.
from Northampton, Massachusetts. It's really nice. If you've never been to Northampton, it's lovely. There's a really good tattoo shop there. I wonder if Ryan has any tattoos. His major is computer science, and he's a whitewater rafting guide.
Yes, I knew that.
Why did you know that?
I commented on
Read
the talk
the
yesterday.
okay. I was hoping you'd gone whitewater rafting with him.
So
Well, he
it
wants to
looked-
say hi to his
It
mom.
first looked heavy, but I think this was a very good weight by Gregory.
I like
Because
this.
the ice is still a bit slow. It's curling in. I think it's about half buried.
Yeah. I'm glad I got you to start calling him Gregory.
So let's have a look over here.
Greg would like to say hi to his future self for when he rewatches this at some time. And he'd also like to say hi to Brick Mouse. Brick Mouse was a fan of this SuperSpiel last year who was very active in our chat room. Is that live right now?
That is live, yes.
Are people participating?
I don't
Have
think
they told
are.
me to leave yet?
So anyway, here comes the first rock from the Hamilton skip.
Who is named Jay Carhart? We should get these typed next year. Jay is
Go and type
from
them for me.
New York City. Oh, Jay majors in history. Oh, a fellow historian.
This might actually be Ryan Wall.
Well, that's not the order they wrote down on the sheet, so that sounds like a Ryan and Jay problem,
And-
not a Chelsea
oh, wow,
problem.
They get it just by the
Ouch.
guard, but they missed, and now it is the skip rocks for Christina Papini on C. I'm very glad to see that Christina is not overtly wearing RPI clothes.
All right, well, Jay shared two interesting facts here. One is that he's the heir to Richard Nixon. I don't know if that means, like, literally a financial beneficiary or if he considers himself sort of a follower of Nixon politically or spiritually. So that's something interesting we can interrogate later. His other fun fact is, I guess, what you would call fake news, because it's that J spelled backward is J, which is not true.
So anyway, let's have a look at this, because this could mean that Yale is sitting 4.
Jay wants
Really
to say
putting
hi to
up
his
the
mom and
pressure for
dad.
Hamilton 1.
Hi, Mom and Dad of
Christina
Jay.
is getting ready in the hack. Aiming, she's pushing off, sliding, release the rock. I like the trajectory, it's maybe a tad wide. There's a danger that it promotes
Ooh, it's
the
not going to
red
curl
in,
enough.
but it's curling now, hopefully not. Hopefully there's enough momentum to get the red out, and that's fine.
Yeah,
This is not
Perfectly
a bad
fine.
outcome. And the red is also out of play.
I think it is.
It's definitely out of play.
They seem uncertain. Okay, there it goes.
There we go. So nothing much has changed. The center is slightly more protected. There's still the open hit of the yellow on the side. Now, what's happening on the other sheets? Abby is holding the broom for Richard on sheet A, who is trying to draw on top of his own yellow, which is already in the house, increasing pressure on Elizabeth Simonelli.
You're doing great.
It's a very... I don't think... This looks good. He didn't make an effort to sweep, so maybe he just wanted to guard up his shot rock. Or at least leave the opportunity for a tap in the next end, in the next shot.
I was going to say, I don't think tapping in the next end is going to work out very well.
Now this is the situation at the SUNY UPenn game.
Now, SUNY's lead, Isabel Romero, is from Utica, New York, home to a lovely curling club.
Which is where they curl from.
Yeah,
So
but she's like from Utica. I don't know. I
Jeremy
think that's nice.
is now trying to pick out the yellow that Richard just tried to guard up. Jeremy now, I think, a fourth-year curler.
That's interesting because his fun fact here says, "This is my very first time curling."
Which I think
so
we can also say
another
is fake
piece
news.
of fake news here. He's from Colony, New York, and he majors in computer engineering.
Okay, so Jeremy is sliding. You should see this soon, but I'm switching to the total view as on C. Christina Papini is trying to take out a red rock that has been placed by the opposing skip.
Who
Jeremy very
is
nicely picked out the yellow, cutting
named
down the
K,
score.
as we established.
And Christina does get the hit, takes the red out, fails
Well
to
done.
sit down, but a very good shot, very solid. I think everybody can be very happy with it now, forcing Hamilton to draw about half of the 4 foot for one. And I think Yale can be very happy with that end.
Looks good for us. So far. Sorry, I'm like totally biasing your commentator.
Oh, we are very biased in our commentating.
My commentating is extremely professional and scientific.
Now,
So-
Richard is trying to deal with the fact that Jeremy just took out his shot rock. He still is, I think, shot with the second yellow in the house. Evie is giving him the broom to allow him to draw into just behind the red, although there's not very much room to stick. So let's see what happens. On sheet C, there is the skip did not call for a draw. I think it looked more like
It looks
a
like he's
hit.
trying to make the rock curl by sheer willpower,
And
but unfortunately it
this
does not seem to be
is-
making a big difference.
3 points to Yale in the second end on sheet C.
Yeah. Nice work with that biter.
But you're coming into play.
I know, it's satisfying when a biter comes into play, because it's so tempting to dismiss them, but sometimes they make a big difference.
Now let's look at the draw from Richard. Looks
Probably a metaphor.
tad short maybe, I'm not sure. Yeah, and he is pushing it away, so he is sticking with...
Trying to comment the next song that was on YouTube after we
Oh, by the way,
stopped
you want to
video
put
with
this down a bit, otherwise YouTube gives us a strike.
Okay.
Sorry.
Turn on the volume.
Yeah, turn down the volume. So we are not trying to do anything, just sometimes people put up music in the background.
Are you telling this to the computer that might be listening and shutting us down for copyright infringement?
Maybe. Okay, let's switch back. As the teams are now playing away from the warm room. MIT taking a strong lead 5-0 against Harvard, by the way, for all those watching from Broomstones or Massachusetts. So how do you feel about that game? Do you support MIT or
About the
Harvard?
Harvard MIT
Yes.
game? Why would I support MIT? Just because we're like friends with them?
Well, we are friends with
I guess that's a
everybody.
reasonable
But
reason. You know, they both meet my criteria that I said of being, near Boston and not being tough. I'll give you a hint about which one I went to. If I had majored in the sciences, I might not be a 29-year-old intern now. So that's something to think about when you're picking a college and a major. I really enjoyed history of science, though, man. It was really interesting. But I also would enjoy having, healthcare.
Okay, now third ends going on all three sheets.
All right, so
So let me quickly give you
Yale's
a...
lead Julia, I think. I met all these people today. I live in DC now. I think this is Julia. I'm going to say this is Julia. Yeah, I'm right. This is Julia. I know this because she's the one who is she's studying to be a nurse practitioner. She's from Asheville, North Carolina, where I've been. I don't really have any fun facts to share about it because I was like 14.
I see.
Lovely in the Smoky
So
Mountains.
just to give you a quick update in between while the ends are getting set up, this is the third round of pool play, and after this the top teams are going to qualify for the next round. So currently the top teams would be SUNY 2 and UPenn, followed by MIT, Harvard, Yale, and Hamilton. Having said that, Harvard and Yale are just on tiebreakers with 1 end differential, so Yale is quite likely to maybe overtake Harvard, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe they can still make the qualifiers, although that's going to be a very hard draw, but we'll see.
Well, before we leave Julia behind, I'd like to note that she rode her bike across Costa Rica from border to border.
Cool.
I'm guessing that means from the Nicaraguan border to the border with Panama, or I guess other direction, south to north. But I mean, I'm very impressed. I found it stressful just taking a bus across the middle of Costa Rica, so well done, Julia. And she'd like to say hi to her friends in North Carolina, Emily and Courtney.
So again, you can see MIT's leads and front ends in general give Alex a lovely start up and sort of setup off the end to play with. You have two reds which are basically frozen on top of one another, which is very hard to take out. Both of them in a perfect position, so now he just has to guard it up to make it very impossible, because they are so close to the T line. It's going to be hard to draw around. So if we are now going to see a nice center guard, then Harvard has a very, very hard end ahead of them. In the meanwhile, you obviously can't see this, but we have a cramped full warm room.
We do.
Yeah, with
It's
lots
very
of parents
nice to see.
from
Yeah, lots of friends and family
teams.
coming out
Exactly.
to support the college curlers.
As well as RRT playing RPI in different card games. Who do we
Now,
have over there?
Fabian,
MIT watching the other MIT play.
have your parents ever had the opportunity to watch you curl?
No, they never do, because most of the time when I curl, it is midnight or the evening in Europe. So no, they have never seen me curl.
You've never gone curling in Europe?
I've never gone curling in Europe. But I
you
do
should.
think there's a nice SuperSpiel that I think you should go to.
That's interesting because it sounds like it's in Europe.
Yes.
All right, well, we can
Just
talk
saying.
about logistics later.
Anyway, now let's go back to the games. The center guard that Alex wanted to have put up was a tiny bit too heavy, and therefore on sheet B left a opportunity for a double, but the takeout was slightly too down weight, so that there was not that much separation between the reds. So red is now 3-shot, and Alex is again calling for a medium-high center guard so that it doesn't leave any double opportunity. So now
I
the
would like
second
to
attempt
note
at the
that
same
the
shot.
player throwing right now on sheet C has some excellent socks with curling rocks on them. That's a piece of curling-related apparel I've never seen. And this person is... I believe this would be Jennifer Fleming. from Easton, Massachusetts,
again,
who majors
the
in
guard
math and
seems a
economics. I
tiny
believe a
bit
family
too-
member of Jennifer Fleming is telling me I'm correct. I'm sorry for that person. She did not say hi to them. She wants to say hi to Jeff. So I don't know what you did, but I think she likes Jeff more than you. Sorry. Jennifer Fleming has been to all 50 states. Now, as someone who lives in not a state now, I live in a district of Columbia. I don't know if that's included. I'm new to this thing of not being a state and not having a, senator, and I'm not bitter.
Anyway, so let's see what's going on. We are on both sheet B and C in interesting situations. Again, Yale has 3 rocks in play. Greg's draw is slightly too heavy, so we're in with 3 rocks, and Hamilton will very soon try to draw behind to get maybe 2 or 3 points this end. Similarly, now on sheet B, the Harvard team was unable to get rid of any of the shot reds, so Alex might just again call now for the 4th time in a row for a center guard.
Now, if I could just call your attention to sheet C, where Christina is dancing a lot. Of course, she just ended right when I started talking about it, but if
Sorry.
rewinding is the thing, you could go
is.
back and check that out. Great. Well, enjoy. Now, do you think Jennifer Fleming has been to American Samoa?
You should ask the parents.
Eh,
Anyway, now
I like the
Hamilton
mystery.
placing a center guard, and Gregory Dell is now trying in his second attempt to draw around it. It looks less heavy, a bit more narrow, so all in all I think this is a good attempt. Not slowing down as much. So I think it's gonna stick somewhere in the back of the house. Nope, it's sadly through the house. Alex, I think, I'm not sure what the call was in the end, but he is just freezing another red into that huge pile. And now Jack is really in a situation where he has to try to reduce the score and open up for play so that he can get back into the game. Hamilton on C now trying to draw behind the guard coming from the other side. I like the line. Sweepers are on it. The line looks good. If it might be too slow, but the line looks good. It's just by the front guard.
Oh, no, not quite.
Unfortunate. It wicked off, and it leaves a corner guard protecting the 2 yellows in the back. Very unfortunate outcome.
Now, you know who I'd like to meet looking through all of these info sheets? I'd like to meet Harvard's lead, Angelo Osofsky from Staten Island, who ran a Ponzi scheme in high school.
Interesting.
Have you ever run a Ponzi scheme, Fabian?
I haven't, but I'm interested if he's majoring in economics. I think that would be an interesting fit.
Well, he didn't list a major, which leads me to believe he's a freshman, so you should tell him that that'd be a good fit.
I think so.
So, Fabian, are you saying that economics and economists are basically just a scam?
No.
Interesting. Well, Angela would like to say hi to Jack Schroeder.
Who
So,
is
hi, Jack.
here, the Harvard skip?
Oh, so he is. Now, Jack Schroeder also had an interesting time in high school. He hired a mime during high school. Also, last summer, he saved an old woman from drowning, but was never thanked. That seems rude. I guess maybe she was unconscious. How you doing there, Fabian? Fabian's
Anyway.
a consummate professional. Jack is from Summit, New Jersey. He's majoring in government. And he'd like to say hi to his family and to the illustrious Angelo Quentin Ozovsky. So I think we've got a little bit of a
But
bromance, or dare I say a regular romance here on the Harvard team.
now let's have a look on sheet B.
I already was. I was looking at Angelo and Jack and
No,
their
but let's
beautiful
look at the shot,
relationship.
because I think Jack is trying to get rid of a lot of rocks thrown with a huge amount of weight, trying to
Hit
get
a little wide, I think.
something
More than a little
but
wide.
about 2 feet too wide, and missing the 4 rocks from Alex, who is now yet again calling for a center guard. Or is he going very aggressive and drawing a 5th one in? Now, on sheet A, Richard is throwing a hit, trying to get a hit and roll to roll behind the red on the left-hand side to potentially sit 2. It's now curling in. Gets the hit, but sadly rolls out, and red is still shot, so not much of a change, but still a very good attempt. Now, Alex, again, I'm not sure if he's throwing the draw or the guard. Looks like a very nice line, slightly wide. Alex kneeling down to get a good sense of the line, calling his sweepers to sweep. It's definitely a guard, but it's not guarding much. It leaves the 4 shots wide open, not wide open, but somewhat open. So although Jack will find it very hard to, impossible to throw a draw, he might now attempt to cut down the field of play to just give up maybe 1 or 2. What would you do? This is a very difficult situation for the
This is a
Harvard
difficult
skip.
situation. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I guess you could try to draw way out to the right side, try to get something in the white back there if you can get around those guards and, like you said, cut them down. But you think, are you thinking a hit?
So Christina Papini on C quickly wanted to throw a rock, I think somewhere into the 12-foot. Just about outcounting the red, but it's a tiny bit too heavy, so this gives an opportunity either for a hidden stick for 1, a hidden roll, or a just sort of heavy draw on top of the yellow. But we'll see what they go for.
I think it looks like Jack's going for the hit.
Now, this is going to be something to watch out for on sheet B. Jack is taking aim. A normal weight hit, much more narrow than last time.
I mean, in the middle, you're going to hit something there.
And he is indeed. And that looks like 3 red still.
Not a big difference, unfortunately. Good try.
So that's 3 red on B. So MIT is now up 8-0.
Well, and it looks like MIT made a little bit of a lineup change compared to what they wrote down here. Seems to be working out well for them. No, their Vice is... No, I don't understand what they did with their lineup, actually. I also do wish I were wearing my glasses, because right now everyone just looks like either a person with a hat or a person without a hat.
And
So.
as you can see over here, the shot from the Hamilton skip took out the yellow that Christina just threw, for giving 1 to Hamilton. So Hamilton cuts down for the score to 4-1.
Now, would you like to know a fun fact about Hamilton, Fabian? Hamilton College?
Oh, I thought you meant the other Hamilton.
About Alexander Hamilton?
Yes.
No, I think everyone knows
great
enough fun
economist.
facts about Alexander Hamilton right now.
Another great economist.
Yeah, I know. Everybody knows.
that economists are great.
No, everyone knows Alexander Hamilton was a good one.
Anyway, now let's look at how the third end finishes on sheet A.
You never
with
heard my fun
the
fact about
hammer
Hamilton
thrown by
College.
Richard, who's trying to draw for 2. And it looks like he has excellent weight, and that is 2 yellow on
It's
A.
that a student had a pet python in one of the dorms who escaped earlier this year. And the campus police were called because a student found the python behind their fridge in their dorm room. I know this because it was in the news, and I have a Google News alert set up for news about snakes for work.
Interesting. Oh well. Anyway, let's switch to the near house view.
Fabian's not at all curious why, for my job, I have a Google News alert about snakes, so that's fine.
I'm curious. I'm just not surprised.
All right.
I'll actually very quickly switch back because there's actually there's another rock, which is the hammer by Jeremy on sheet A. So I was a bit too fast to update the scores.
Now, Hamilton's lead getting ready to throw right now. Oh, are we adjudicating a burned rock over here on C? Looks like they decided it was fine. Anyway, Emily Moy from Hamilton, playing lead from Cohasset, Massachusetts. Majoring in Fabian's favorite, economics. She wants to say hi to her dad. And she'd like you to know that she is a chocolate Jimmy enthusiast.
Jeremy now trying to sit one, hit and stick for 1 on sheet A, but rolls out, so it's just 1 yellow.
Now, speaking of 1 yellow, I'm going to go take a pee break, Fabian. So,
Perfect.
good luck holding down the
Thank
fort
you very much.
without my sparkling conversation.
So here Hamilton is putting up a beautiful center guard. Team is very happy with their lead. Christina is calling for a corner guard, while there is another red in the center. I think that's, with this current score, still a very good call. This looks a bit wide, so I think that rock is going to be out of play on sheet C. Now Jennifer Fleming is going to maybe draw another rock just on top of hers. Let's see what Skip J. Carhart is going to call. Yeah, Jay is calling for a rock somewhere in the 12 or 8 foot. Jennifer Fleming is getting ready and releases the rock. Looks like it has a lot of weight. It's very hard to predict how much the rock is going to slow down this far out. Slowing down a lot, but it might just not stick around. That was an excellent weight. It was very wide and it sticks down there, but because of the speed it didn't curl very much. But excellent weight. I would have completely misjudged this if I had been a sweeper. Now Christina is calling for a very similar shot. She's giving slightly less ice, maybe in a response to what she has just seen from Hamilton. No, they're sweeping hard because I think there is a danger that they're going to sit on the center guard. And they call off the sweep, make sure it's not too hard, so that we have another center guard. It's unfortunate, it's not what you want if you have hammer. So maybe there comes a time to peel the guards, but we'll see. Meanwhile, on sheet B, the end looks slightly better for Harvard, who are currently sitting 3 with a center guard and the other rocks relatively well protected, but you can still draw around, which is exactly what MIT is doing here. Excellent weight, out-counting their shot rock just close to the button. So this would be 1 MIT if the end was now to end. Hamilton does a beautiful
Fabian
draw
meant to say
the
if the
button.
end were now to end. He's not a native English speaker, though, so we'll let this slide. It's
Sorry.
subjunctive. You should be sorry. Yeah, it's fine. I forgive you. So what I miss?
Not very much. I
That's
completely
rude.
miscalled the weight on a rock.
Oh, good. So it's like when you're curling.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm kidding. You're much better at calling weight than I am.
But anyway, other than that, not very much. Now the identical rock again, this looks again as if it was on the center guard. I think we don't actually mind too much some separation on the center guard, so we could potentially peel them.
Now, this rock was thrown by second Emily Peterson, also known as Shorty Spice.
So now
Sure.
I think this is going to be difficult to take out as a guard, so we'll have to make do with the situation.
Emily's
Meanwhile, Hamilton is trying to draw another
from Denver.
rock on top of theirs.
Emily's from Denver, Colorado. She is studying public health policy at Yale, much like our illustrious elder curler, Michael Cohen, not to be confused with the, criminal. I'm sorry, alleged criminal. I don't know what you're pointing at. I'm just saying that Michael Cohen, our curler, is not a criminal. I think that's fine. Well, Emily would like to let people know that she is a potter, and she puts in parentheses, not in the Colorado sense. So I'm guessing that means that she enjoys throwing a pot from clay
Yes.
on a wheel, firing it in a kiln, maybe glazing it, and she does it all while stone cold sober. So she'd like to say hi to this rather incomprehensible string of characters. Simo 1, Simo 2,
Simo 3,
Simo 3, Simo 4, and
Simo
5. Simo? Simo? I don't know. Whoever it is, she wants to say hi to all 5 of them.
Okay, here we go. We have to comment on Greg's shot because Greg really likes listening to our voices.
He
and
does
hearing
love
what we say.
listening to our voices.
So I think this looks slightly short. So I think we might have a 4th center guard. Well, I do think those 2 red rocks are very solidly guarded.
I agree.
I think, there's not much to do. So now Hamilton is calling for a guard / biter somewhere on their right-hand side. Although they wouldn't mind, I think. Are they? Yes, they're gonna. Okay, they're gonna go for the draw.
I think that's a good call.
Yeah.
Although, if they don't make it far enough in, they do risk giving Yale something to hit and roll off of, which is just about the only way they could get behind that big pile of guards. So,
No, I think you can definitely draw. I mean, it's hard, but you could draw the button. The guards are relatively high.
Yeah, okay, that's true.
But let's see what happens.
Because some women pride themselves on looking younger than they are. I have the rare talent of I curl like someone who's been curling much less long than I have been curling. So you're probably picking up on this in my kind of strategy analysis as well.
And here we go. We have another
another
center
guard.
So,
oh, right in the pocket. Oh, that was actually very satisfying.
So I really think at some
Probably
stage...
not for Hamilton.
Anyway, we'll see what happens next. Now, Greg for another attempt to draw the pocket. I think Christina is now...
Fabian, I'll bet you $5 it ends up as a center guard.
Sure.
I don't actually want to take that bet. I'll bet you $2 it's a center guard.
Okay, here we go.
All right, so now there's money on this, folks. This might be illegal.
No,
if you're listening in another state, it's probably a federal crime somehow.
I have full faith in Greg. He knows how to make the adjustment. This
Christina,
is going to be fantastic.
Kicking rocks in the house again, just right and left, tripping over things. I can relate to that.
Come on, Greg.
Not that we pick sides here. We're very scientific and objective. All right, Greg, now I do have money riding on this, so center guard, please.
So it looks fast, but we know from a previous shot that it's going to slow down quite significantly on that outer line. And I think, does he just get by? Come on, you can get by.
It does look like I owe Fabian $2.
And I think that is not a biter, but it is
No, it's not a biter. I'm sorry, it's not close.
But it's also not a center guard.
Okay, so maybe I owe you $1 because it's a guard. It's just not in the center.
That's not how betting
works. That's
works.
not how betting works. That's right. And that's why you're the economist. That's that word. That's why you're the economist.
Okay, let's switch our interest from, our focus from sheet C maybe to sheet A.
Sounds good.
Where
like
they have a
similar
similar situation. They have a lot of guards, but they have a relatively empty house. So it really is one of those situations.
Don't have as many guards
who is
sheet
first,
C.
who can draw behind the guards, sit protected, will score the end. So
now I like what's going on B here, where we have looks like 7 rocks in the house. That's pretty, festive.
Now, Abby's draw looks slightly heavy. And that rock will be out of play. On sheet C, meanwhile, we have another... I guess it's not a center guard, but the amount in the middle is so much we can count that as a center guard. It's a hard situation. What would you call on C?
I think hit and roll. It's not great, but I don't know what else to do.
Say it again.
Hit, try to roll and at least get something in there. What would you do?
The problem is, if you do the hit and roll, it's not like you're
not
get the one out that you hit and one of the other reds. It's unlikely that you set shot rock,
right?
Which is, I think fair enough.
I don't know, cut them down.
You can cut them down.
I mean, do you think you might have an easier job cutting them down, drawing in on the other
so
side?
The thing is, I'm not sure what it looks like from the other side. If you could do a promote, then you get something else out, but you also open yourself up to maybe potentially draw.
Oh, you think promote the yellow, the tight guard?
But I'm not sure if that's possible. I would have to look at it from the other side. I can't quite see it from here. So let's see.
That does look like that might be possible.
I think Christina is definitely going for your shot. The sweepers are on the rock, just trying to get a piece. I think this might be on the
It might be a promote. No, I think it's... Oh, just a... Oh! Okay, well they got him read out.
I think that was somewhere in between, but yeah, now definitely cut down the shot, the score by 2. Even if they were to give up 2 points in this situation, they wouldn't mind this, because then they would lead by 1 and have hammer, which I think is a very comfortable
I think that is a good
situation for this team.
to be in.
Now, let's look at sheet B, because we didn't look at this for quite a while, and as you said,
there are
there is
100
a lot
rocks
going on.
in play on sheet B.
Let me put this up for the viewers.
Count them. 100.
8 rocks, wow. Maybe this is number 9. So red is shot with 1, and now Jack will have to try...
I think they were just trying to take away the promote
to get rid of
options
it.
there.
It's very far. I'm not sure if there's a promote.
No, I just meant what they were going for
yeah,
with that
sorry,
shot. I
I
thought
thought-
maybe trying to cut down on the options.
I thought you
but
meant
I don't
Jack.
know.
I know Patrick would say the only option would be to throw a spinner through the port. But I think that's very optimistic. If that worked out, it would give them 3, but I think that's a very, very hard and minute shot, which might not actually be there.
Oh, it's sweeping very hard over here on C by Hamilton, but still just have another guard. They just love guards.
Which is fine. I think a steal of 2 is something that they would never say no to.
No, I agree. I just think that's a lot of guards. It just feels excessive. Gluttonous, even. There's something sinful about that many guards, don't you think? I just don't think God intended us to have that many guards at once. You know what I always say? If God wanted us to have like 17 guards, we would be born with 17 guards, right, Fabian?
You have interesting sayings. Now Greg and Christina are looking at where to hit the red for a double promote with, I think, a... Well, the thing is, it might be their only shot.
Yeah, there's just not a lot here. That's about it. That is what they're trying to do. It looks like they're, you know, doing the pool cue thing, trying to line up all the angles. Oh, meanwhile, we just had a very interesting promote on sheet B. That was pretty good. You guys should rewind that one. 1 yellow in the end there on B. That was pretty nice. Are you rewinding? Can you see it?
I can't rewind.
Well, I'm sorry. It was very good and you missed it, so...
So, let's see. On C, Christina Papini with hammer.
Going up
Throwing
against,
a crazy
you know,
rock.
2,000 guards. An affront to God and man. An abomination. This many guards.
Very heavy. Looks to be on the guard.
You know, Fabian, it's Adam and Eve, not Adam and guard 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 and
Let's have
guard.
a look.
That's what I
Actually,
always say.
On the yellow
Oh,
button,
not
Michael
not
Red
quite
and-
lining up all the angles there. Possibly giving one more to Hamilton.
I
In
am
fact, that's
inclined
what
to
it
agree.
looks like. That's unfortunate.
But
It was a good try. There was nothing else you could do.
I think it is worth if you know, put up the pressure. We were up by a good amount. I think, you know, nothing wrong with this.
Except all those guards, which are, you know, insulting.
So anyway, it looks like 3 to Hamilton.
I'd just like to reiterate that everything I said about MIT's lineup this game is a lie, and I don't know anything anymore.
Could you pass me my
so.
charger, please?
What am I passing you?
The charger. It's down there, the
This
MacBook charger.
charger? Yes.
No. Leave it plugged in and just give me the thing to
You just-
charge.
Well, it's too late because now it's unplugged. So.
Then also get the adapter.
Is this a British oh, the adapter's still
Yeah.
in. Okay, I got it. I'm doing great. Alright. Nope. Sorry. Alright. Nailed it.
I will very quickly get something to drink, and I'll be back in a second.
Alright. That's good. I do great alone and in pairs. So. Oh my god, Fabian just knocked everything over.
Oh, that's fine.
He says it's fine. Okay. Are you bringing your microphone
Oh,
with
it
you
is.
to get a drink?
4-4. It's 4-4. It's on the other side. It's 4-4.
He's telling people the score. All right, so curling is happening. People are throwing rocks on ice. Just what you came here to see, so you're welcome. Let's see what's going on sheet A. Penn's lead, Merrick Eng, is about to throw the first rock. Nope, second. Their first rock of the end. There you go. Fabian's pointing again, wordlessly. Are you offering me a drink? Well, I'll drink my melted ice bits first. Flip, I'll think about it. Fabian's drinking Sprite Zero. So you all know. Anyway, Merrick Eng just threw, corner guard, like you do. He's from Brooklyn, New York. He's majoring in business analytics and marketing. That sounds like someone who's not going to be a 29-year-old intern. And his interesting fact I find deeply upsetting is that he's eaten whale before. So, that's a bummer. And then SUNY's lead, just throwing her second rock, Isabel Romero, I think we talked about from Utica. Her major is communications. And her interesting fact is that she drinks vodka as a replacement for water. So, she wants to say hi, like everyone on this SUNY team, to Aaron Bailey. Now, Fabian, who do you think Aaron Bailey is?
Oh, he is the vice on the Team SUNY one.
Oh, well, it seems like they could just say hi to him in person, you know? This feels inefficient.
I think so, but for example, I think Gregory says hi to his parents, and they are sitting right next to you.
No, I think Gregory said hi to Brick Mouse, a person we've never met, and to his future self, if I recall correctly.
That is true.
So, You think I'm not paying attention, but I am. Now, I was hoping Aaron Bailey was maybe a curling fan who was watching this from prison or something like that.
I'm afraid that is not the case.
I know, it's too bad.
So let's have a look if there's anybody participating in the stream. Well, we have 4 great people watching the stream
Is
at the moment.
Brick Mouse here?
No.
Then I'm not interested.
Anybody, whoever is listening to us, please write to us. We always like to realize that there are other people who are actually listening to us.
Especially Brick Mouse, though. So I can tell you, at MIT, we do have Leanne Galanek playing. I think she's getting ready to throw. She's from Old Lyme. Her major apparently literally is rocket science? That can't be real. That's not a major.
Why not?
I just don't think you'd call it that. I think you'd call it, like, I don't know, applied physics or, like, astronautical engineering or jet propulsion or something, right? I just feel like rocket science is far too straightforward to be what you would call it, but I don't know.
Maybe.
It is MIT, so I feel like anything's
aren't we
possible.
having a Dance Dance Revolution competition coming up soon?
We are supposed to have that, yes. I brought it. Don't look at me.
Good, thank you.
I did. I don't know where it is right now, but we brought it in.
Sweet.
And Leanne's interesting fact isn't really about her. It's more about Connecticut, and it's that Lyme disease was named after her hometown, which everyone from
Is she from
Connecticut
Old
knows
Lyme?
that. Yes, she's from
Oh,
Old
nice.
Lyme. Yeah.
Let's go back and have a look at what's going on the sheets. As
Well,
much as
I'm
I
talking about sheet
like
B,
talking
that's
to you,
fine.
we sometimes do have to tell people what's going on, otherwise our
tell
view
them
count
what's
might
going
actually go
on.
negative.
What, our view count might
Yes.
go negative? What does that mean? We're looking at ourselves? We're looking at them?
Maybe, yes. Well, anyway, we'll see. On sheet A, it's a very good setup for Hamilton. They have a center guard which perfectly covers a rock behind it, and now Jennifer is throwing a second draw behind with a nice line. It's starting to curl, but the sweepers can hold it, and it is just past and ticks their red, making both of them visible for Yale to potentially take out, but we'll see what happens.
I think these look take-outable.
And that's exactly what the call is.
Outtakeable. Now, I can tell you another fun fact about Greg, while he's coming down here getting ready to sweep. I don't know how closely you can see his outfit, but a repeating motif in it is Reptar,
Yes.
who's a fictional dinosaur from the show Rugrats, which was from before Greg was born.
That
But
looks like a
he
good hit, actually. That looks really
has a
good. Come on,
personal
hold
role.
it. Please hold it. Please, please, please hold it.
Gonna hit that one in front, and
keep
is
it,
it
keep it,
gonna?
keep it,
Oh,
Nice double. But not enough weight.
not
The
quite.
direction was good.
Oh, that was a little bit sad.
But it's fine. The
Very
game
close.
is early on. Jennifer seemed very happy though about this. She is smiling a lot.
Anyway, Greg makes it a personal rule that if he ever has the opportunity to buy something with Reptar on it, he does so.
I see.
As he showcases many of those purchases today.
Now, I think this is the first time that Alex is facing a slightly more dangerous house than he ever did throughout the game, so I think there was a very good setup by Harvard. He has one red in the house, but there are 5 other reds around him, and that red is not very well guarded. So if Jack manages to pick that up, he is right back into the game. So Alex is called for a guard, but this slightly missed, so this didn't really do much anything other than maybe providing some tap opportunity for later.
Well, I believe throwing that rock was Diana Faust, who has listed her hometown somewhat suspiciously as Hannah, Montana. So I'm not sure I believe that. She's majoring in computer science and biology, and like Bill Clinton, she plays the saxophone.
I see. So now Jack is trying to do a downweight hit maybe on the red, getting a lot of ISO, not a very high impact hit. He just needs to get the red out to be somewhat comfortable to the 12-foot.
Now, I'd like to note that in the house right now for Harvard is their vice, Rocky Lee, from Washington, D.C. is what he lists as his hometown, which is very rare that you find someone who's from Washington originally. He's at the law school, and he wants to say hi to his wife, Phoebe. So hi, Phoebe.
So Jack had a very strong push-off, but then held the rock for very long. Sadly, a tad wide, which meant that he hit his yellow out, but still leaves a potential double for his next shot. Now Alex is considering a draw to the button coming from the outside.
I wonder
yes, that's what he's going for.
what Jack hired the mime to do in high school. It just says he hired a mime. I mean, I guess to mime, but like in what context, you know?
Hamilton trying to take out the yellow in the house from Yale.
I don't think so.
But
Sorry,
they
good try.
sadly failed to do so. They just missed it despite a great effort from the sweepers. So now it is Greg's opportunity to open up the house, to give the opportunity to deal with this later. I think this is a great call. Open up the, peel the guard, get rid of it. It's not something that you want if you have hammer. You don't want the other person to be shot and have so many well-placed guards. Alex on B was slightly short with his attempt to draw the button, so he stays up with another guard, which, lucky for him, moves to the center because this still leaves open the path for the draw in a second attempt. Now the sweeper is sweeping very, very hard, trying to get a good angle on the hit. Getting some separation. Unfortunately, it overcurved.
Oh, wow. that was exciting.
So yeah, if we want to be honest, I think this was maybe a plan C or D. As you can see, Yale was slightly wide, but nicked in, and now that's going to be hard to measure. I hope I don't have to do this.
Second. What do you think?
Wow.
Even if they nudge it back just a little and just tip that red another couple
so this
inches,
really
I think
changes things.
Exciting game.
It is. Look what just happened.
The shame is that because he hit the guard relatively nose, the center guard still stays there. But we are yellow. So now we can potentially tap it in our next shot, but this might be... We'll see. So Hamilton is now trying to draw in again.
It's a nice shot regardless. Did you just draw there?
No. It wasn't. It was a fluke.
It was a what?
A fluke.
There are no flukes in curling, Fabian. Own it.
Sorry, it was a
It's a
plan.
plan C.
I went for plan D.
Plan
I think
D.
it was Plan J, and he
Plan J.
hit another rock into it. Yeah, it was exciting.
Well, either one is bad.
Now Alex with his second attempt for the draw. Now this definitely looks like a lot more weight than his first one, which ended short on sheet B.
Maybe a little too much weight, I
Nice
think.
adjustment. It now starts to curl in. It might be a bit wide and therefore
Oh no, that's looking
exposed.
nice.
He definitely cuts down Harvard.
Very nice shot.
It was a good draw. I think this looks like it still leaves Harvard with 2. Let me quickly put this up. I think this was still 2 Harvard.
Double run back to the 2 here. You take premium. So you're calling sheet C?
No. Heavy draw or freeze even.
In case you couldn't
Just
hear it,
freeze, and then
Patrick
with a second
suggested a
one,
double run
push
back
the
to
red
hit
back.
2 on sheet
Freeze
C.
the 2. Or you do a double run back, a little inside the red. Fine. This is what you talked me out of, isn't it?
Now Harvard coming back
Here comes Ponzi
into the game.
schemer Angelo.
with a lovely steal.
All right, good pump-up dance going on here from the sweepers to get Christina ready for her shot on C.
So clearly by the ice that Greg is giving Christina, I don't think it's going to be the triple run back that Patrick is ironically suggesting.
It's only a double.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Still.
I guess it's a triple if you count it knocking out the reds. Yeah, you call it a triple. Not ironic suggesting it.
Okay, here we go. It looks a tad wide, maybe?
I think it's going to hit those guards.
Come on! No,
Are we going to
it's
get
actually quite slow
the
down
double
there.
run back that Patrick wanted? I feel like maybe no.
Come on! Get a wig, do something!
Click in and become something.
It's open.
No.
Well, that's something that we can play with next round. We'll see.
She'd be quite a good job keeping the pace up over here on B. They're already starting their sixth end.
Yeah, I will go out in 6 minutes and tell. Why is Jeremy sitting on the ice?
Was he just crouching?
He was just. I think that was kneeling.
That's no good.
Anyway, let's keep an eye on A and C because there we are still in the end phase of the end.
Now we've got
J with his last rock on C. Trying to prevent Yale from having the tap opportunity.
tap opportunity. That's what we call that. More efficient. You love efficiency. You're Germanish.
And he does so very well.
Yes. Quite well.
It's a very nice shot. Maybe a foot too far.
A little too. I think it is. I think it's a little bit
So
too
let's
wide.
see what Christina Papini is gonna do. I think a heavy draw could, with a bit of luck, give you 2. But we'll see. It's a hard shot. But I think Christina can definitely try to attempt it.
I'd like to note that on B, getting ready to throw now is Sydney Chan from Hong Kong, who's majoring, as Fabian will be delighted to learn, in economics. Oh. I think you guys should be friends.
Oh, now they are going for the triple run back.
Oh, good. Patrick will be delighted. Where did he go?
Meanwhile, on A, Penn scores 1. Taking the lead again, 3-2. Now Christina is throwing the hit. The line looks good. Maybe a bit downwind. Come on, sweep guys. It's curling now. It's curling. It's curling. It's curling. It's curling.
I don't know if we're getting a triple run back out
Nope,
of this.
just peeling. I hope I don't have to measure this. Please don't look at me.
You think they're going to make you measure it? I don't think you have to. No, red is counting. That's one red. Let's wait and see if they flail. Flail for Fabian. Oh, it's one red. I think that was one red.
Let's see what they put up, and then we can switch the view. We'll update you on the score, and yes, it's one red. Which I think Yale can be happy with.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll quickly go out and tell people how much they can play.
All right.
And I'll be back in a second.
I'm all alone now. Physically and spiritually. Experiencing the, solitary nature of the human condition in a lonely and unfeeling universe. Some intense sweeping from Jeremy over here on sheet A. That's how he's able to keep warm in a t-shirt. Sheet C here, we've got a center guard. Maybe kicking off another end of, 10 center guards. Everyone likes him so much. Do we have a hog on B? Is that over? Maybe they let it hog on purpose, didn't like where it was going. On A, looks like we're going for a take pretty early. That's fun. Keep a clean house.
So, all sheets are just going to play 7 ends.
Lucky number 7.
Pardon?
I said lucky number 7,
Yes.
but I was kidding. Luck's not real. Got some more festive socks on sheet A over here. Are those other curling stones? I think they might be. All right, getting ready to throw on sheet A is Jiqi Bu, whose hometown is China. It's a big town. He's majoring in math, and his interesting fact is, and I quote, "I hope it's warmer." So I don't know if he hopes the ice, like the ice shed, is warmer than last time he was here, or he hopes Connecticut is warmer than China, which I guess depends what part of China.
If his wish is that the ice is warmer, I don't know if it's warmer, but it for sure is very fast, very stable, and nice ice at the moment.
I actually do think it felt a little warmer than usual out there, so maybe we can blame him for wishing for it. So
again, Jack on sheet B has a lovely end setup. He has a back yellow, which is guarded by or somewhat guarded by a center guard. Only one opposing red, but two other yellows in there, is really putting up the pressure for Alex to respond to this. They're currently trying to decide which way around they should draw. Sheet B, two center guards, and Jay is now trying to draw behind their center guards.
I wonder if socks are displacing pants as like the weird clothing item of curling culture. Because the only weird pants I see out here today are Greg's gold hammer pants, but there's two people with exciting socks pulled up real high, so maybe that's the next trend. Also, a lot of hats that are interesting shapes. Lots of bucket hats. There's this like Australian type thing going on over here. I don't know, there's a lot of sock action happening.
So now Christina Papini trying to draw behind the center guard. I like that. I would sweep. I think it might... It's curling a lot at the moment. And that's by the guard. Nice.
Is it a little heavy, do you think? Or do you think
Yeah,
we're
but they
gonna
needed to do the sweep in order to get by the guard. I think it's going to stick around to the back of the house.
Oh, yeah. That looks very nice.
That's nice. I think, you can sit on it, but I think having something in the house now
Good
is a
shot
fantastic...
by Emily.
Yeah. So Hamilton now trying to sit on top of it, or, just somewhere on
Really
top of
emphatically indicating the top four there. I think we know where he wants that rock.
So Jack now trying again to get the second draw in. And sorry to all the fans of UPenn and SUNY Poly if we're not putting too much in our commentary towards that game, but that sheet is on the other side to us, and we actually find it quite difficult to see angles, and very naturally we are excited about the Yale game, where Hamilton does a perfect freeze on top of
very nice
yellow
freeze
that Yale just put up. So Christina is now just asking to replicate.
And that freeze, I believe, was thrown by Jennifer Fleming. Is that right? I was not paying close attention.
No, Jennifer is the second.
How many rocks have we done? Oh, second.
Oh, was it the second rock? Yes, you're right. Sorry.
Guess you don't learn everything in economics, huh?
That's true.
Yeah, here we go. I can't wait to pee again. How about you?
I can definitely wait.
Well, that's an anatomical difference between you and me.
I would stop sweeping because otherwise the red goes in, and we have another situation which I think you like very much. It's the abundance of center guards.
It is. It's an abomination before God and man.
I think at this stage it's still possible to sort of take off the center guards, split them, which I think really is something that Christina might want to consider, because we really want to get two here, so that it is not too hard. I agree
that we would like to get two, sure.
No, because, you don't want to get one and then lose hammer in your last end, so...
I agree.
Now, Hamilton's Vice, again tasked with throwing a draw to the button. I think slightly lighter.
I think we're going to have another guard.
I think we might end up with a center guard, and it's going to tap. Get ready to sweep, Christina!
Oh, sweep, Christina, what are you doing?
I think we got excited.
I just don't know where there was any sweeping
so now
happening.
Christina is calling for another draw to the button. Although the air, the space is getting smaller and smaller, but we'll see. So Greg getting ready. Now, obviously, it's useless getting rid of the guards, but there is a potential raise opportunity. I'm not sure if you can see this well on the screen, but the raise from the red into the yellow is definitely there. So this looks a tad white.
A little heavy, maybe. Not sure that's coming back in.
Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it.
Oh, it's being touched, though. Oh, not heavy. I was very wrong about that. I think they were probably right to sweep it for weight, right?
But the problem is, if they had swept it for weight, it would have stayed further out, and then there would have been a hit and roll, which is something you really don't want.
Right.
And
oh,
now
looks like it's taco
ready?
time here, so that's a sacrifice I'm making for all of you. Hope you're happy.
Now Hamilton trying to decide whether they want to draw the other way. Jack now with 5 rocks in the house, but still trying to get rid of that 1 rock from Alex's team. That Alex is trying to protect by all means. So he's now trying to put up a center guard, a sort of high center guard, to make the draw very difficult.
He could just borrow some from sheet C. I think we're about to get another one on sheet C, in fact.
I agree. I think that was supposed to be a draw to the bottom, but I think it's light, and it might up as a center guard, and maybe it gets our yellow in. Get ready, get ready, get ready. No, it doesn't.
No.
But that slight angle on the 2 reds in front of the yellow is actually quite advantageous, as this is going to be very hard for yellow now to promote it, I think.
Agreed.
So what I said earlier, that there is a raise opportunity, I think that has gone with this rock.
No, there's not. Are we trying? I mean, I guess we're trying to do is move that yellow in, but
I still think the draw might be a nice idea.
From the other side?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
But we'll see. I'm sure there's a plan D that the 2 of us haven't thought about.
Did MIT end up getting that one
wide.
on sheet B? Oh, I think this is going to flash, unfortunately.
So I think that might be through, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Let's see what happened on B.
Now, as an update, Jack puts up a score of 1 to MIT.
That must be frustrating for Harvard to be counting 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th in the house,
5th,
like having this,
And there was just the 1
or
red.
4th and 5th, you're right. But yeah, but they just couldn't get that one out of the way. The taco fragrance in this room is powerful right now.
Yeah. So now... Okay, now Hamilton I can't see because the view is taken.
I know it's going to shock you with the guard. Not quite center though, but they are taking away that draw that you were looking at.
I agree. But so now I'm afraid there only is the...
Promoting that yellow.
I think so, with that ice. Throwing the right weight is going to be really key here, because otherwise if it's too heavy, things might spill either direction and they end up with a very unfortunate outcome.
Agreed.
Having said that, throwing a good amount of weight will ensure that you're not, because you have to go relatively wide, going to be subject to all that pebble that's going to start you to go curl like crazy. Now Christina with her first of 2 rocks.
I like to call that the nail.
Nice point. A decent amount of weight. I think good line. Sweep call a bit earlier would have been great. I think it's on the red guard.
It is.
I think the
unpredictable
line was,
result here, though, maybe.
I agree.
Oh, sweep it!
And that does things.
That does things. That does some things. Yeah.
So, I don't think it's quite interesting because now the front yellow can't anymore get promoted in the red because that would push our yellow aside, would hit into our yellow,
Right.
and I'm not sure if the other yellow, if there's a path for the other
I'm
yellow
not sure
into
you
the
can
red.
reach it. I think it's very hard here.
So we'll see. I think they might just put up a guard,
I think so too.
which I think is the right call from Hamilton's skip.
Agreed.
Now on sheet A, this is the last rock for UPenn. No, this is the second last rock for UPenn, who are sitting 3, who will likely put up a sort of something in the top 8. Oh no, he wants to freeze onto the red. That's interesting.
We do get another guard here. Let's see, making any action on those yellows very difficult.
I'm definitely, after this game, gonna ask Patrick about the decision for Penn to freeze.
Okay.
I don't quite understand this.
No, I think
Okay.
this is their last rock. This is Penn's last rock.
No, it shouldn't be.
Right?
Penn, SUNY scored the end before, so Penn should have hammer.
I don't see any more rocks down there.
So what do you think is the call here?
All I can see is the sweatshirt in front of me right now. Let's see. Oh, I think they're trying for some kind of magic promote and just throwing it toward those yellows and hoping for the best, but I'm not sure. There's a lot of options here.
To be honest, even if they take one, like, it's possible to get 2 points with hammer. If there's a good setup from the front end, you just don't want to mess this anymore and get like another red into play.
Right. I don't know what's happening.
And I think it
Not
stays
a
with
lot.
1 red, which is okay.
Agreed.
So this is 1 for Hamilton. So Yale is 2 down and will have to score 2 with hammer in the last end, which is well possible. Okay, now on A, this is Wait, did
Taking
Jeremy
that
just throw
yellow.
red? Oh, did they just throw the wrong color? This would explain our little confusion.
Oh, about the number of rocks? I have no idea. Well, no, they think they're
And there is a...
done.
Anyway,
Who knows? Greg's doing a little dance on sheet C. The traditional last end dance. Oh, broom falling over. What are they all looking at? Guys want to do some curling? What are they all staring at? I wonder if they're watching the Britney Spears music video through the window. All right, here we go.
okay, now switching.
That looks like that's going very wide.
Yeah, I didn't realize that all of the vegetarian stuff was backloaded. So
I don't think that's going to be
Pardon?
starting anything.
realized that there's a lot more rice and stuff.
Let's see.
Oh no,
Might be out.
it's...
I believe just barely in play,
in play.
but not doing a whole lot. Like me in youth soccer.
You played youth soccer?
Oh, every girl in America had to play soccer when we were kids. Soccer.
That's a good country.
No, it's not a good country.
No, but if you play youth soccer, that's good.
No.
Get people away from American football and promote European soccer. It's great.
Oh, it's better than football. It's not like evil like football, but it's
No.
also not. You don't need it. I have other talents. It's fine.
Penn now 3 down, going into the last end, has a harder task than Yale does.
That's good. You learn that in economics.
Yeah. Econ, not 101, but 102, you know? Something slightly more advanced.
Yeah, subtraction harder than addition. Kind of got to do it backwards.
Basically.
Yeah. All right,
Now
we've
Christina
now
with a
been
good call,
playing the
calling for a
90s
guard.
and 2000s music videos long
We
enough
need
that we
something to
started to
hide
repeat.
behind.
We've got Poker Face by Lady Gaga up for
Oh,
at
that
least the
looks
second
heavy.
time.
Ah,
It looks heavy, but it looks in play. So,
pardon?
it looks heavy, but it looks in play. What are
No.
you looking at? I think we're looking at
C.
different things. You are? Oh!
Should have swept to-
Ouch. Yes. Agreed.
Now B is going towards the end. There's only skip rocks left. So
Oh,
let's
boy, yeah.
focus on that for the time being, because this is also their last end, although it's really just to get a better tiebreaker, because at the end of the day, this match is pretty much certainly won by MIT 1.
You don't think they're going to score an 8 under?
Who knows?
They don't even need an 8 under. They just need 7. Let's take a look at the house. Aren't you going to do something magic with the screen and zoom in on the
I can do.
house? And...
So again, a reminder, if all games were to end like this, SUNY 2 would win this pool, followed by MIT, Penn, Harvard, Hamilton, and Yale.
Ouch.
So SUNY would go into the AB final. MIT 1 is actually likely to go to the AB final as well, because they have very good tiebreakers, and UPenn is likely to be one of the top third place teams and therefore also play tomorrow. Harvard, Hamilton and Yale would be eliminated.
Sounds a little threatening coming from you in that accent.
Sorry.
You should be sorry.
Yet the game isn't over.
Oh gosh, another
so
very
close.
close miss
But
by
I think
Yale.
it's sticking around and counting. And now Jay is just calling for a freeze on top of the red, making it hard to be taken out. Richard on A is now faced with the task of hiding some yellows behind that, well, you can't call it corner guard, but the front red. Being slightly short, well, now he has something else to hide behind. And there's still enough rocks in play that Richard can get the 3 points that are necessary for the
Sweeper's
draw.
working very hard on C here.
Now that
Oh.
shot is, I think, sadly slightly too short, and it's
Oh
hugging.
no, that's tragic.
So now there is an open hit available.
Okay,
But
third time's the charm.
well, but I guess at this stage you don't necessarily want to hit yet. You just want to.
No, she's going for the hit.
Okay. You really want to stick around though, because if you were to hit roll to the side, then there is an open hit on the yellow, which is not nice.
Yeah.
If you were to just freeze onto it, then maybe in a second shot you could hit it out, but then there's, you know, one more rock in play,
Yeah.
which is exactly
Oh,
what you
this
need to
doesn't
score
look like
to.
hit weight to me.
Just sweep as much as you can, guys. Sweep really hard. This is not. It looks like it's on.
Oh,
It's
I
like a
think
corner
it's
guard.
curling pass.
It's a corner guard or something, I think. Just keep sweeping. Never up, never up, never up. Don't want anything high. Well, it's still open, so there's plenty to work with.
Britney Spears. Greg is saying Britney Spears to me through the window. He wants to know what Britney Spears song has a particular dance.
So currently, if you can't see, Gregory is mouthing things
I think
to
Greg,
Chelsea
Greg, I've barely
through the
seen any
window.
music videos. I was homeschooled. I'm sorry.
So Elizabeth is on sheet A throwing her first rock, trying to take out the yellow. Really putting the pressure up with 5 red, leaving Richard with close to no opportunities left. For SUNY at this stage, it's obviously whatever rock they can take out of play is good because that can't score, and this way they win. Now, Greg taking aim on C looks slightly wide for the broom that was given. So it might be a leave off, let it die, maybe it's a draw. It was supposed to be a hit on the center red, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just very wide. Now the Vice from Hamilton with his final rock of the game, potentially the final rock of the game.
he doing?
Go through your rock. Go curl. Don't do charades at me about Britney Spears in the middle of your game. Jesus.
Okay, so Greg's last rock. Greg should concentrate on his rock.
He should concentrate on his rock. They were trying to
Now
communicate to me about the music
to
video for Oops, I Did It Again.
Throw a heavy draw, trying to get that red aside. Not as narrow sweep, guys. Just make sure. Sweep. And it's on the guard, putting up the pressure, but you know, we'll see what happens. Stop distracting them. 2 more rocks and he can get the answer.
Okay.
Sorry, there is some communication about Britney Spears songs.
I know,
going
I
on
thought
off the
telling him
ice.
would make him stop signing at me, so.
Okay.
Fabian and I have different parenting strategies for our son. Okay, curl now. No more Britney Spears.
They are also very confused about what we are writing. So they might think that we are coaching them.
I'm not coaching them.
I know, but you know.
Oh, they think we're
They
coaching
think
them?
that they were giving us the looks.
Oh, no, I can show them my
Yeah,
stupid
no, I know,
notes I
but-
wrote about Britney Spears. Also,
Anyway.
let me tell you, if I were coaching them, it wouldn't help them, so.
So I think now on A, this is just the applause for MIT and Harvard who are just coming in.
I guess they didn't get that 8 under, unfortunately.
No, they... Yeah. Okay, 2 more rocks left for Yale. There's definitely a promote from the yellow into the red, which would leave Yale sitting 2 and keep both center guards, which would be very attractive.
Very attractive. I think sheet A is on skip rocks. I think SUNY already threw their first skip rock and has hammer. Alright, hopefully whatever they learned about
And
Britney
this is
Spears will be
also-
helpful for planning
This is
this
also,
shot.
I think, what Greg is giving. It's the raise into the yellow. It seems like very little ice to me.
I agree. That is not a lot of ice. Would you say they need Mandy more ice?
I think they need Mandy more ice.
Yeah.
Sweep.
Oh, sweep so much.
It looks a
Oh, it's
bit
doing something
narrow.
different. It's very narrow. It's going into
So
the
I
red
think
or
it might just be
pass.
through the house.
And I think they're gonna get a piece of that red. But who knows what's gonna, it's just going off to the side, yeah. Alright. Alright, on sheet A, Richard's about to throw his first.
No, his last, right? Oh no,
No,
his
his
first.
first.
Cool.
It's the nail. Oh, looking pretty light on A.
Anyway, I think the game on sheet C is definitely going to come out to the last rock.
I think they hogged that one on A.
Jay is running back excitedly to play his rock. Now both
All right, let's see what
games
shot he's
are
so excited to
incredibly
throw.
slow, so we are going to start the next game even later. SUNY's first rock from skip Jeremy Zhang.
No, second. It's his
Can't
last
count. Ends up in the back of the house, just count out. No, it's not out counting the yellow. Meanwhile, Jay's rock is also hitting his guard,
Not quite
trying
going
to
in.
split in, but not. So
Oh,
now everything
just
comes
fighting,
down
maybe.
to Christina and her last rock. Either
If she can just
should
replace that red, I think they've got their
draw
two
in.
and they tie.
hit and stick.
I
Come
don't
on,
think
you
she
got
can
this.
draw because then they just get one, right?
Pardon?
She
Yeah.
can't draw, they just get one. They need
No.
two.
Pardon? She can't
Christina?
draw, you're right.
No, she has to hit that red.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a heavy draw, but the red has to leave.
Oh, yeah. Yes, okay. I thought you meant drop behind it or out to the wing. Last rock is going over on A. Sweeping hard, trying to bring it all the way. 3 sweepers now. Do they make it? Yes. I can't tell what the score is from here, though. Is that just 1 for Penn in that last one? On A?
Can't see. The camera over there is not working.
Well, I think 1 for Penn.
We'll see what they hang. That looks like... Is that 1 for Penn? Yes, 1 for Penn, you're right. And now the final game for Pool A, third draw. Okay, I also need to get people to like clean our sheets. That would be great. Do you mind mopping? Do you mind mopping? Or find people to mop. Thank you.
Right, well, Peter, who will be overseeing the mopping of the ice, is from Des Moines, Iowa. He majors in chemistry. He's fascinated by vexillology, which, as everyone knows, is the study of flags. He'd like to say hi to his mom, dad, Julie, and anyone watching in the great state of Iowa.
And now let's focus on Skip Rock on sheet C. We need to outcount
The
that
hammer.
red in order to go to the nutmeg knockout. Looks white.
You're not going to get that red out.
I don't think this is gonna go. Very sadly,
No nutmeg knockout tonight.
this is a point for Hamilton.
Well, I mean, we're happy for Hamilton.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we are now gonna get the ice ready for the next draw,
And
which
I'm
is
gonna
gonna
go
be in
pee.
30 minutes.
So
Thank you very much.
think about that.
Bye bye.